Hey, how are you doing? I want people to join. I have to find a real good time for this. Pinky and Miss Pinky Thoughts. I'm chilling here with my pink blanket, and we're gonna sit here until we get some fans through here. And once people start joining in, maybe we can start this show. I got a couple people that's retweeting, but I need people to actually join the show. We'll just wait and chill and let the time go. This is going to be a really interesting video with 3 minutes of nothing, but we're going to see who joins in and where we go from there. People are going to see me looking at the desktop and looking at my see if I can find some music.
June 7th, 2018, Thursday. As I told you, I'll be here all day live talking to you about things that are important to me. My mind is open to you. Today, we're going to have some news stories. We're going to talk about the election of 2018. We're going to talk about um, many topics today. Thank you for joining me, and this is Mrs. Pinky Thoughts.
I'm playing my podcast until people get on here, so if they click on, they can hear me.
Here are your news stories for June 7th, 2018. Trump signs VA Mission Act, donating more to the VA Choice Program and to veterans, and this law was co-sponsored by Senator John McCain. This is to help veterans access more outside care from the VA and give veterans more options when it comes to their health care. President Trump also met with star Kim Kardashian, who is also married to prominent musician Kanye West, for prison reform. And through their discussion, they've actually helped a few people out in their situations. California voters this week recalled Judge Aaron Persky, who gave a 6-month sentence to Brock Turner for sexual assault. This is the first time in California history since 1932 of recalling a judge by so people, you do have the power in your vote. Also, we had a historic decision come down from a 7-2 vote on the cake breakers in Colorado being favored by the Supreme Court, as do have a right to discriminate and to turn away LGBT customers that want to buy cakes in support of their gay weddings. The ruling is also ruled only for this and is subject to only the skills of the baker and not necessarily freedom of religion or freedom of association. These are your stories for the week today, June 6th, and I'm your host, Mrs. Pinky, and this is Mrs. Pinky Thoughts. My mind open to you.
Elections are not held just for social participation. They're not held just to vent our emotions. They're held to elect people who will hold our lives and the lives of our loved ones in their hands, as well as the fate of the entire nation. And I think to go out as if we're voting for, for a homecoming queen or something is madness. I advised in that column that people who really haven't had a chance to study these things and know much about it, that their most patriotic act would be to stay home on election day rather than vote on the basis of their whims or their emotions, which is really playing Russian roulette with the history of the country.
We're back, beautiful people, and I'm your host, Mrs. Pinky, and this is Mrs. Pinky Thoughts. In today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about election 2018 and some of the things that's been going on this week. This week, we've had a couple of primaries being held in states across the country in Alabama, California, Iowa, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota. These primaries are going to pick prominent Republican or Democrats that are going to hold office that can shift how our government is made up. Right now, we have all three branches of government being held by a Republican stronghold, but any number of elections can tip this back in the favor of the Democrats to challenge Trump policies. The biggest vote we had going on soon is the one that's in California. The biggest vote we have now is for Governor Gavin Newsom or Travis Allen. Gavin Newsom is the Democrat nominee, and Mr. Travis Allen will be the Republican that are facing off. California, according to Hill.com, has a target count 60 Democrats running in 14 different districts currently, which is actually spreading Democrats thin across the state. Currently, many of the districts these 60 are running in are being represented by Republicans. We have a kind of flip gate going on right now, in which we have people wanting to turn California red and Georgia and Texas blue. In California, we have Newsom, who people are saying is business as usual, going against the newcomer, Travis Allen. Many hope will flip the state to red and help support Trump policies. Anything at this point is fair game because people didn't expect Donald Trump to win the presidency. In Georgia, we're going to have a face-off in July between past Lieutenant Governor Cagle versus the former Secretary of State Brian Kemp for the Republican nominee for governor. And we already have the Democrat nominee, Stacey Abrams, who blew out her Democratic competitor. If Stacey Abrams were to win the governorship of Georgia, will be turning back blue and have the first female African-American governor ever. We also have the next election that we need to look at, which is Texas, where we obviously have Senator Ted Cruz going against
conservative free market ideas sometimes hard to sell? I think of the labor unions and liberals are now attacking Walmart and saying Walmart pays its employees too little. I mean, that's a nice thing to be for. You know, you want more money for people who work at Walmart. What's wrong with that?
Hey, I want more money for myself. But that doesn't mean that someone else has an obligation to pay it. If you're paying people for their work, instead of just paying them what they think they need, then clearly these people wouldn't be working for Walmart if someone else thought their work was worth more than Walmart is paying.
So why do you think liberals...
This is promised economist Thomas Sowell, and I'm just playing that a little bit while we're waiting for some more people to join in. I think he has a lot to say that is really good for more people to listen to.
People who are disadvantaged, as they put it.
And this is Mrs. Pinky, and this is Ms. Pinky Thoughts, live.
Want to stop people from being disadvantaged. You know, the liberals want to help the poor while they're poor, but really the biggest benefit is to stop them from being poor. And that they have very little interest in.
What is the liberal premise?
I guess the Rousseau notion, you know, that man is born free but is everywhere in chains. The real problem with the world is that the institutions are wrong. If the institutions were right, then man would, there was nothing in human nature that would cause us to be unhappy. It's the fact that we have the wrong institution.
What is the conservative premise?
That man is flawed from day one, and that there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs, and whatever you do to deal with one of man's flaws, it creates another problem, but that you try to get the best trade-off you can get, and that's all you can hope for. I've often said there are three questions that I think would destroy most of the arguments on the left. And the first is, compared to what? The second is, at what cost? And the third is, what hard evidence do you have? There are very
They can never answer that one.
Yes, all three of those kinds of things.
Can conservative ideas pass those?
Yes, I think so, because they don't assume that there is a solution out there. You know, Adam Smith didn't believe that either the government or the market could solve all problems. That you have to be able to simply tolerate certain things. And the idea to the left of tolerating any evil, you know, that they were about the last vestige of segregation. Really, at what price?
The three questions Thomas Sowell asks: compared to what, at what cost, and what hard evidence do you have? These are relevant to both the right.
That was prominent economist and well-renowned conservative Thomas Sowell, and he brings up a lot of good points on questions that the left can never ask about the free market system and why conservatism works against liberalism. Honestly, I don't even know where the left line is anymore, because they seem to just want to just give stuff away, even if at the cost of it being somebody else's detriment. So I started my podcast, Ms. Pinky Thoughts, as a way for me to speak for myself, because there's too many times that people think that they can speak for me, being that I'm a black woman, I'm a veteran, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter. So a lot of the times people think that they can say and speak for me, but I actually have my own voice, and I got kind of sick and tired of people dismissing the voice that I have, because my voice isn't left-leaning, or it's not liberal, it's not progressive, it's not, you know, status as usual. A lot of people don't even know that the reason that they follow so much liberalism is because it's dominating the media, entertainment, and it's like a pop culture thing. It's like it's no more honor in actually thinking for yourself. You actually have to think like everybody else. They're gonna come and burn down your house, burn down your family, and just come and get you. And this myth that nowadays, because Kanye West or Red Pill Black, Candace Owens, or a couple of other people are just now getting into public eye, that black conservatism is something new, is ludicrous, in my opinion. The National Black Republicans has been out for over 50 plus years. We have, excuse me, we have Tim Scott that represents South Carolina, and we have Mia Love. And no matter if y'all think they're true conservative or not, they are out there. And we have prominent, we have Thomas Sowell, Walter E. Williams, Star Parker, Stacey on the right, Larry Elder. We have Deneen Borelli, and we have a whole host of other African-American women and men that has been pushing conservatism, from the Tea Party, from libertarian small L, libertarian big L. We have black independents, and this notion that right-leaning people cannot be African American is ludicrous. And we even had Martin Luther King III and his um, second niece, I guess, Avita King, who's been speaking out for Republicans ever since modern era. And even Martin Luther King III told Toure, that works for MSNBC, that black people are not monolithic. And I think it's almost racist to assume prejudice, discrimination, whatever, to assume that we have to be only in one political party, which is ridiculous. We have the same opportunities as everybody else to be in more than one political party. And today I was trying to talk to you guys live just to give y'all some time with me to let y'all know that I do exist, that I'm not a bot. And I think that Twitter has this habit of allowing trolls to come on and dismiss conservative views that are not white, straight, and male, or fit some kind of stereotype of a redneck with the Confederate flag on the back of his truck. And there's actually a lot of us out here who don't fit the stereotypes. And the Republican Party is a lot more diverse than even the GOP would pretend. It seems like they are heavily relying on the faces of white, straight men and women. And there's a lot of us out here who are out here, and we're putting in the work, we're putting in the long hours to get conservative voices out here. I'm not really a veteran at this podcast or this online thing, but I'm out here and I'm trying to get it done. And anybody's welcome to join. If they don't agree with what I'm saying, please click on the link. I'm on twitter.com. I'm on twitchy.com. I'm on freedomreconnection.com. And like I did in my previous videos and messages, I like to shout out freedomreconnection.com and the people that are associated with that website, because it is where I got my start at starting to voice my conservative opinions. Because at one time I didn't even know what they were. I just knew something wasn't right about the Democrats. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and that city was Democrat my whole entire life. And we had Elijah Cummings and a couple of different mayors, and I just kept wondering why Team Blue seems to have the same failure rate across the entire United States. They run New York City, they run Oakland, they run Los Angeles, they run Dallas, they run Atlanta, they run Minneapolis. And Democrats run all these different areas in the United States, and yet they all are busted and disgusted. And we have African Americans making the exact same excuses over and over again for why we fail. It was the boogie white man in the White House. Then it was the boogie white man here. Now it's white supremacy. Now it's always somebody else's fault why African Americans can't succeed. Yes, we were slaves. Yes, we had Jim Crow. Yes, we had segregation. But I'm so sick of the same excuses. I'm not going to sit here and wait for Superman to come rescue me and rescue my people. We can do this ourselves. We don't need reparations. We don't need handouts. What we need is the government to get out of our way. And that is what I'm all for. I think the individual is a lot more capable of doing for his or herself than the government is. My name is Mrs. Pinky, and this is my show, Ms. Pinky Thoughts, going live. I have a podcast on anchor.fm/MRS-PINKY85. I'm also available on iTunes, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Castbox.fm, and I'm going to try to manually put myself on other sites, and I already did one, which was SoundCloud. If you look for Ms._Pinky Thoughts, there goes my show. I have season 1, episodes 1 through 13, and one intro, one trailer, and you can get an intimate look at my thoughts, what's going on, the news, and things of that nature. And I'm just sitting here in my house, inside of my house that I pay a mortgage on, that's not in any city, that is getting paid every month. And it's very, very hard for me to feel oppressed and feel like white people are keeping me down when God and my hard work between me and my husband has gotten us to where we are today. I haven't seen any democratic principles yet help me get to where we are. And I opened a live chat because I really, really, really want to get and pick brains of people that I follow, people that are left-leaning, to just let me know how you feel about things. And even if you don't agree with me, if you don't like me, if you don't like the fact that I'm a minority conservative, you think conservative is racist, you think Trump is racist, you think I'm a MAGA, please click on my Twitter, go to YouTube. It's free. I'm not paying. You're not paying. But let's just sit here. And they said we should be open and discussing these things. Let's do it then. I'm going to sit here and play a couple of more videos from prominent conservatives that I follow, and just sit back and enjoy this wonderful Georgia evening. It's pretty nice outside. It was raining a little bit earlier. And once I see people just come in and join the chat, and I can see exactly the messages. I'm also opening a couple of windows on my desktop that's right behind mine. This is my tablet. I was getting tired of holding my phone earlier, and it was shaking and everything. And I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but my hand was cramping. And so now we got this little setup going. If people want to donate and help your girl out to get some more expensive equipment to help push conservative voices forward, you can visit me at www.patreon.com/MRS_PINKY, and you can just subscribe and become a Patreon, and all I ask for is $1 a month, and I'm gonna post receipts every time I go buy studio equipment, every time I go purchase signs or purchase anything that has to do with Miss Pinky Thoughts, and anything that has to do with, you know, getting my broadcast out there, will help donating to the local GOP, so that you guys can see that I'm really about what I'm practicing. I really don't do this to try to make money or nothing like that. I was completely fine being anonymous and letting nobody know that I was conservative. But I'm going to flip this screen around and show you some of my social media, and maybe that'll help you guys find me online. I'm going to pull up Patreon, and then I'm going to pull up a Patreon, and then so y'all can see all this stuff is really real. I'm not a fake person. I'm not a Russian. And okay, I'm lifting up my tablet. There I go, Mrs. Pinky. Ms. Pinky 85. It's www.patreon.com. Capital M. Locates RS_PINKY. Mrs. Pinky. And I'm creating podcast episodes and minority content. And I'm going to shout out Patty, or her name is Pat Mendez, who is my one Patreon. And I'm going to try to grow from her. But thank you again for joining me tonight on this evening chat room of Miss Pinky Thoughts. And this is my regular face. You can see my double chin. You can see my neck. You can see the grease all over my face from me. Yeah, I do a little skincare routine, but this is it. You can see a little bit of my bumps and blemishes. I guess I take good selfies, but we're going to sit here, and I'm going to just keep on just talking, and hopefully we get some people in here and they can chat. I know some of you guys are starting to eat dinner, or you're just getting home from work. If you're on the East Coast, it's probably afternoon out there. If you're on the South, you're probably 2 hours behind, so you're just about to get off work. So I'm just going to sit here and chill, because it's Friday, and I'm not 25 anymore, so I'm not doing anything. I'd rather this had been yesterday, but I was having a couple trouble with Periscope. So I'm just going to sit here, and I see a lot of people liking my link on Twitter, but I need some people to come on over here and just join me over on YouTube. The live feed is playing through Twitter, but I'm not getting any messages or any questions that way. I need you to click on my YouTube channel, and it's called Friday Night Chat, and come on in, and don't be shy. I don't bite. I guess I can't overline, but I played some Thomas Sowell, and I'm going to play a little bit more of him. And this is from Zero Fox Given, and these are some of his posts, and I wanted to give him credit because I don't want to take away.
Is an economist, a social theorist, a political philosopher, and an author. He's also a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution, Stanford University.
Let's turn the camera around so you can see him instead of just me sitting here looking at you.
Everyone I show or highlight in my videos. Although most of the videos I show have a conservative slant, they're meant to highlight issues with certain liberal agendas and provide challenges to what the more radical left takes for granted. An article written by Dr. Sowell begins with, Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes said there were phrases that serve as an excuse for not thinking. One of these phrases that substitute for thought today is one that depicts the current problems of blacks in America as a legacy of slavery. New York Times writer Nicholas Kristof.
We give so much power. I want to pause this video and talk about that a little bit, because I think we give so much power. We give so much power to slavery, a lot more than we should. Yes, it was very horrible and detrimental and sad day in world history that Africans were taken from the continent of Africa and spread and mixed from their tribes and spread all over the world and enslaved and tortured. And then we had years and years of colonization by England, Spain, and France. We have the Arab slave trade. We have slavery going on today. We have child trafficking. And what I don't like about constantly blaming slavery is the fact that it makes us feel like we're still slaves right now. And no, we're not on someone's plantation picking cotton, but people make it seem like that despite being freer than we were, we can't change our outlook on life. We can't do anything. Even though we had an African American man president, even though we have women leaders around the world, even though women, especially black women, make up some of the top CEOs across the country, even though blacks dominate sports and entertainment, even though we have like Jay-Z and Beyonce, we have Oprah Winfrey as a female billionaire, we have Lisa Nichols on S&P 500, we have a women of color, Indian woman, CEO of Pepsi. People still saying this legacy of slavery is keeping us down. And I'm always wondering, what does us mean? What does down mean? What does oppression mean? So I would love to engage anybody of the left leaning, what they mean by oppression, what do they mean by racism, what do they mean by, because when you say only white people have the power plus prejudice is equal to racism, so you're saying we have no power? Because if you say they have power, then what can we do? Can we change it? Or all we can do is beg white people to fix stuff for us? Because when you say that only they can be racist, you saying we can't even be equal negatively. Like, oh, we can. So if we can't even be equal, what are we striving for? What exactly is the solution? Is it to just put blacks in charge of everything and then keep white people down? What exactly is the end game? So as I sit here and wait for people to join, I'm going to keep on adding and see maybe around 7 o'clock, 7:30, maybe some more people will come in and join us here on Mrs. Pinky, and I'm Ms. Pinky Thought, and I'm your host. And we're just chillaxing until we get some people that's ready to talk about some things. We have people that want to talk about the Second Amendment, abortion, religious freedom, the Kate Baker situation. We can talk about anything of the sort. And this is going to be a very long video because I'm just going to sit here and chill and see what we got going on. But now no one can say that I am a Russian bot or I am not really black, because I'm putting myself out there. And this is very scary in a time like this where you can actually get death threats and you can get hurt and you can get all kinds of things with putting yourself out there. But if I won't, who will? So there might be a little bit of delay or sound issues. I'm your host, Ms. Pinky, and it's Mrs. Pinky Thoughts, and I'm live here on my own YouTube channel. I'm going to take a break and come right back shortly.